Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Do you want to hear a story? I'm not letting go.
Are you ready for this?
Follow your heart.
I'm going in!
This is
Blockbuster Smash Up!
Welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Smash Up. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and as each episode, I'll be joined by my co-host, Todd G. Levin, and our special guests as we try to smash one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film into one hopefully cohesive new film for you guys. And this time, let me just put a disclaimer here at the top. This one gets really, really weird. I don't know if there was a full moon out, but you have been warned. So let's dive in and meet our guests. All right, so let's do some introductions. Todd, please tell us about our awesome guests.
All right, so in one corner, we've got Michael O'Connor. That is the sound of Michael O'Connor. That's all he says.
That's all he says.
I was doing like a crowd, like a big crowd.
Michael comes
it was
with his
weird
own
because you
crowd.
opened your mouth and like ghostly things flew out of it. It was terrifying, but...
Michael and I went to USC together, and we were in, at separate times, the same a cappella group.
Yeah, never the same time.
Never the twain.
So it was like serendipity, like there were moments where you guys might sing passing each other in hallways, and it was like, just not at the right time.
It wasn't meant to be.
We were not meant to harmonize until now.
Oh, what? Song. Nope.
And in the other corner is my good friend Paul Hardister, educator and producer.
I was offered a free sandwich to be there.
And there was no sandwich, so he is pissed.
Yeah, he just stuck around.
Well, welcome, Paul.
Thank you both for
And
being
we're
here.
sorry we couldn't bring the sandwich.
Hey, I wasn't even offered one, so.
Paul, we weren't supposed to talk about the sandwiches. It's happening later.
That was in the contract.
That's in
forced
Paul's
you to
rider.
sign.
Paul's
the
rider
rider
has
is
a
I must have a sandwich upon arrival. That's probably a normal thing to have in a rider, actually.
Sandwich must be provided.
Well, guys, we usually kick things off with a personal question to get to know you a little bit better. Todd, what is our personal question?
Getting to know you. So, what is the movie that you watch to cheer yourself up? You know that movie that you kind of
Beaches.
Is it really? Is it Beaches?
What is
The
that?
thing is that that's the answer my mother would give 100%.
It's a
Beaches
movie
is
that
her
are just
comfort film.
documentary shots of different beaches, right?
But a comfort film or a movie you watch when you're sad or if you're down, you know, the movie that you can't watch it and not just be instantly lifted from your gloom afterwards.
Ooh.
For me, it's Iron Man. Definitely
Really?
Iron Man.
Iron Man 1?
Yeah, the original, and I still am holding on to my favorite superhero movie of all time.
Wow. So Iron Man is your number one.
Yeah, it's there.
Is it so? What is it specifically about Iron Man that picks you up? Is there a scene that you're like, ooh, if I watch this scene,
Stark built this in a cave with a bucket of scraps. I mean, that's genius.
That was good. That was a good impression.
I
felt like Jeff Bridges was here.
Oh man.
he might have been that ghost stuff that came out of my mouth.
Oh, that was Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Ghost
I
of
was
Jeff
just-
Did we get a
Bridges.
sandwich for Jeff Bridges?
No, but we
Shit.
got a ghost sandwich.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Paul, tell us about your film that pulls you out of gloom.
I'm just sitting here imagining, like, looking down off the bridge and going, well, you know, if I just had this VHS copy of blank.
This is such
Yeah,
a
but
dark
so
scene.
wait. Yes, but
Only
exactly
someone
what is
would
that
bring
movie?
me this VHS in time. So what is this VHS?
Well, I mean, a movie that cheers me up all the time, we've talked about it a lot, is Tootsie. I mean, it's one of my favorite comedies. The WGA just came out with a list of top 100 comedies, and it was in the top 5.
That's right. And there was an actors poll, I think last year, where they polled a bunch of actors to see like what their favorite movies are and what their favorite comedies are. And Tootsie was like was their number one favorite comedy.
And they polled a lot of cops and policemen, and they said, what's the number one VHS you bring to a scene with people in distress? And they were like, Tootsie is the number one we bring.
Oddly enough, everyone loves
They're
Tootsie.
opening up. They're like, we've got
Yeah,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. We've got Tootsie.
Yeah, and like at suicide hotlines, they have the normal script, but
Yeah.
underneath is the script
Is Tootsie.
for Tootsie. Yeah.
They're like, we're at a level 1. We got to pull this out right
They're
now.
like,
All
okay,
right, Tootsie.
interior. You know, they
How do you feel about Sidney Pollack?
Well, guys, those were our personal questions, and that'll take us into our game, Blockbuster Smash Up.
Smash, 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 smash,
Smash, smash, smash up. All right, this is our game, Blockbuster Smash Up. This is where we will take two films, one globally accepted good film and one globally accepted bad film, and smash them together and make one great, epic, Oscar award-winning film for all of you to enjoy.
Yay!
So Todd, for this episode, has the globally accepted good film.
That's correct.
And I have the globally accepted bad film.
That is also
And
correct.
we do not know what each other has.
That is correct.
And now we will say them at the same time. Are you ready, Todd?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Godzilla 98.
Oh, fuck. Did you say Godzilla?
Godzilla 1998.
I
Fred.
said
Wait, is that the good one?
no.
That is the bad one,
I chose The Big Lebowski,
which is a good film.
which is an amazing film.
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski mixed with Godzilla 98?
That is correct. This is what we have to do.
Alrighty then. Well, for everyone who doesn't know about Godzilla 1998, I can give you the summary.
Oh, God, that movie's so bad.
This summer, our hero, Nick Tatopoulos, played by Matthew Broderick, must face off against a giant lizard that invades, attacks, and proceeds to hide in one of the largest and most populated cities on the planet, New York City. Nick gets a hold of the lizard's blood and thinks, hey, why not perform a pregnancy test? And sure enough, Nick's suspicions are true. That lizard is totes pregnant and reproduces asexually. Classic Godzilla canon. Next, this movie completely goes off the rails as we find out that the French are actually behind creating Godzilla through nuclear testing, and they've sent one of their French secret service agents to New York to cover it up. This agent, played by Jean Reno, I think I'm saying that totally wrong.
Jean Reno.
Jean Reno?
Yeah.
Yeah. Teams up with Nick and his ex-girlfriend.
Reno?
Yes, Janet Reno. Teams up with his ex-girlfriend to take down Godzilla's babies, and the remainder of the movie turns into a cheap knockoff of Jurassic Park, and that is Godzilla 1998.
Wait, what happens to Matthew Broderick?
Matthew Broderick ends up with his ex-girlfriend in the end. They
Yeah.
get back together, guys.
Thank God.
He has a hat on.
He does. He has a hat on. He
Yeah.
loves worms in the film.
That's
Very
right.
important.
Loves worms.
He detects Godzillaing through the art of worms and radiation, I
and
believe.
he has a hat on.
Yeah.
He just loves that hat.
Is that his main character drive?
That to
in
me,
film?
that's like all I remember is just like I'm Ferris Bueller, but I have a hat on.
But I have a hat
so-
on and glasses, so he's like
Yeah.
a little bit of a nerdier Ferris Bueller.
Right.
That's what Roland Emmerich was just yelling at him every scene.
I'm just picturing the studio executives going, okay, Godzilla, I don't know about this. And then that long, drawn-out, detailed plot about some French dude. It's like, now I can picture
Now
it.
we're in.
Now I see the poster. Before, I was like, what do you put on a poster? It says
Put a
Godzilla.
poster.
And I also like the fact that they're like, well, something's missing from this. Godzilla
Not enough.
98.
That was
Okay,
oddly
perfect.
tacked on to the end of the film.
Release it.
Some fun facts about this movie. Roland Emmerich actually admitted years later that he was never a big Godzilla fan and only agreed to do it if he could do whatever he wanted, which he did.
Yeah.
Also fun, that Toho, the Japanese studio behind Godzilla, officially calls the American monster in this movie Zilla,
Yes.
not Godzilla.
Yes.
And it's actually part of the official Godzilla canon, and the real Godzilla in a later movie defeats him in less than 20 seconds, the shortest monster fight in the series history in 2004's Godzilla Final Wars, for everybody who's super big into those Godzilla movies.
And Final Wars is a really great Godzilla movie.
It's a really good Godzilla movie, yes.
That's cool as hell.
And
Godzilla 56 wasn't bad.
Godzilla 56, I hear good things.
Well, I chose The Big Lebowski.
Now, what is that movie about, Todd?
The Big Lebowski is a little story set in the city of Los Angeles. And
I'm sorry, what was that city called?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
The Big Lebowski is about Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski, who is mistaken for another Jeffrey Lebowski, this bigwig rich guy, for some money that the other guy owes. And he's paid a visit by these two lackeys of a porn mogul, who then proceed to pee on his rug.
There's a lot happening in that opening scene.
And, well, you don't find out a lot of that stuff till later, but they pee on his rug. He's not too happy about it. And the whole rest of the movie is him trying to recover his rug, and he gets into a whole lot of trouble.
Because the rug really, it tied the room together.
It definitely tied the room together. And
It's a nice rug.
And between bowling with his friends Walter and Donnie and going to see the Big Lebowski himself, he gets in trouble with some neo-Nazi nihilists, an ultra-feminist artist who paints vaginas with her vagina.
It seems like a very, that's got to be, I mean, that's probably the easiest way to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a art form. And he gets into a whole lot of trouble, and it's sort of a detective film, but with the most unlikely character to be in the middle of that.
Maltese Falcon, very similar
Yeah.
to the Maltese Falcon, actually, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the whole movie is narrated by Sam Elliott, who plays this cowboy,
Right.
the stranger.
He's
is
like a
his official
magical
name.
cowboy, right?
Yeah, he's
He
the
shows up at
narrator.
the end.
He's an third-person omniscient narrator that sometimes interacts with the people whose story he's telling in a role that Sam Elliott himself was really confused by and was asking them daily on set, like, what am I doing here? You know, he was
That's
always
a good
asking.
Sam Elliott impression.
And let's see some facts about the film. It has some of the most profanity of like any movie
yeah,
ever.
they
like,
say the F word like a billion times in the
right.
movie,
There's
right?
actually like a counter, and if you really want a really quick, not safe for work version of the film, if you haven't seen it, just look at the Big Lebowski, All the Fucks, because it's
They just
literally
say the
every
whole-
single time the word "fuck" is uttered, and it's a 2-minute and a half long video or something.
Can you
That
almost get the full narration
that
of the
actually-
movie with just the word fuck all the way through?
It very much goes like the entire length of like the emotional, ride of the whole film by just with fucks, which is amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
Wolf of Wall Street. I feel like they just set out to break that record.
Yeah.
I think you're
What
right,
a bunch of
because-
jerks.
Yeah. And one like really fun fact that I do like about the Big Lebowski is that Jeff Bridges would go over to the Coen Brothers before or after like every scene and ask them, do you think the dude burned one on the way over? And they would kind of like look at each other and be like, yeah, he probably did, if it was like a scene change. And he'd go in the corner and rub his eyes really hard, and then he'd start the scene just so that his eyes would always be a little bleary.
That's pretty awesome. I really thought you were going to end there with being like, and then Jeff Bridges went off and smoked one.
Well, Roland Emmerich gave Godzilla the exact same note.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think Godzilla probably burned one between the scene.
Okay, so how do we...
So wait, so we got to do the cold open. What is
Okay,
the cold
so-
open
yeah.
of Godzilla 98 and Big Lebowski?
Okay, I think, what's his name? Nick Tatopoulos?
Nick Tatopoulos.
I'm actually surprised I got that. Okay, I think Nick Tatopoulos, played by Jeff Bridges,
Of course.
is coming home from a rousing bowling game.
Of course.
But he's also a paleobotanist or something like that? What does he do?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. He's
Yeah.
a biologist.
No, botanist is good because then you can smoke the blunt.
Yeah.
You can still.
That's true. I like that.
All right,
I'm picturing Julianne Moore starting to work on some kind of sculpture of the Godzilla creature, and then you've got the magical cowboy that comes along and breathes life into
Whoa.
the sculpture.
Whoa.
And then Jeff
so we got an
Bridges is
origin.
smoking a doobie, and he's just like, he thinks he's imagining this, and it's actually real.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So Julianne Moore is working on a giant sculpture of like a
A creature. She doesn't know
maybe
what it
like
is
a vagina monster.
Exactly.
Vagina.
She
Yeah,
creates
okay.
vagina monsters.
Yeah.
She's big into
It's very-
kaiju.
yeah.
She's a big kaiju artist. She's big in the kaiju scene.
She wants to make the vagina like a
monster.
meat eater monster
Well, and
thing.
she calls her own vagina Zilla.
Yeah.
And then when it's huge, Sam Elliott looks
The
at her and it's
Godzilla.
like, God, that is one fine Zilla.
Okay. Let's scale it back.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You sure we didn't go too far?
No. Yes. We have to
So
scale
he's-
this back. But because there
Nick
has to be a
Tatopoulos.
cold, there has to be a cold
Yeah.
open to this. I think Nick Tatopoulos is a paleobotanist. He's coming home from a game of bowling, and he comes back to his house, and someone has stolen all of his plants. So then the rest of the movie, he's looking for his plants back. Maybe he was a grower. He like grew weed, and that was like his magic plant or
Now,
something.
how
like
do
that.
we tie this to a giant vagina monster?
So exactly. Okay. So that's like the cold open is that like maybe he's got to have like a nickname like the dude, but what
Well,
is
in
it?
middle school, he was known as the grower.
Oh, there you go.
not a shower.
Definitely not the show.
All right, so the grower, I guess he goes looking for it because they keep talking about this other Nick Tatopoulos, right?
Right.
So he's got to find out who this other Nick Tatopoulos is.
Yeah.
And he knows that this Nick Tatopoulos, one thing that's pretty known about Nick Tatopoulos is that he likes to purchase lavish statues. Like, he's a very big proponent of, like, kaiju statues.
This
and,
millionaire, the
this
millionaire Nick Tatopoulos, yeah.
It's
Not
like
the
this
grower,
weird thing.
not
No,
the
not the
grower,
grower,
yeah.
not the grower. But, and so he goes to his mansion, and
Sure.
there's just, like, statues of these monsters, just, like, everywhere.
Which is terrifying. However, it doesn't bother the grower at this time because he is no longer high because all of his plants have been ruined.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, and it takes him, he finds, a tag on one of them, because, he wants those statues pristine. He's not going to remove the artist's tag on it, right? Artist tag statues with tags. Like
yeah.
clothes, right?
Of course.
I know a lot about statues. So, he goes to the statue's art locale, right? That's also what they're called. And at this art locale, he meets Julianne Moore, who is working on her Zilla, her ultimate Zilla statue.
Right.
And I have no idea how we're getting to a giant monster.
I guess somewhere along the line, she's like, do you want to smoke some weed? And he's just like, oh, well, actually, yes, I do, because he lost all of his this morning. And
Meanwhile, on the docks, a giant monster. At some point, Godzilla has to make it into this movie.
It's the plant.
Okay, wait a second.
Julianne Moore's plant monster somehow magically needs to come to life and start
the
wrecking
vagina
mayhem.
monster.
Yeah. Vagina kaiju.
So okay.
Vagina Jew.
So retcon real quick. The plant that was in the grower's place was like his Mona Lisa of plants. Like this guy is not only a botanist, but he's been like a scientific botanist. Like he's trying to come up with the ultimate fast growing plant, like that just is crazy shit. He doesn't even know. He's just messing with chemicals.
Right.
Yeah.
So these guys, when they come in, they don't pee in the plant. He thinks they do. They said they do, and they threw it out, but they stole that plant.
Oh.
And these people are actually working for Julianne Moore.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
So because she knows, she came across him because he has the same name as her father.
He pieces this together through his
deductive
noir
reasoning, his
inventions.
noiring.
He also hires a French private detective.
He does.
In this movie, played by Gerard Depardieu.
Yes, absolutely. Who's going to help him figure out this mystery. So she brings this plant to her station. She wants to combine it with the statue, add some vinage to it.
Sure, okay.
But when she combines it to the Zilla plant, the Zilla statue, it takes on a life of its own. Literally.
It binds to the statue itself.
So the statue of what is essentially her vagina breaks out into the streets.
It's like a Pygmalion story is what we have here.
And it just starts running rampant. Now, at this point, our grower has taken far too many chemicals to be very rational. So he has to now work. And we realize that this guy that he hired, this French private eye, is actually working with the botanist secret service that has been keeping an eye on him because they knew he was getting close to something terrifying. And this just like in Big Lebowski, the monster doesn't have any purpose. It's kind of just it's not really doing any destruction. It's kind of just mowing around. It's causing some traffic jams, but it's not really. But the military goes crazy. They're just we got to figure out some way to take down this vagina monster.
They're just throwing everything they have at it. All of its
pieces are growing back, and the real key is going to be our guy. Guy.
Because he goes up to it and he's just like, wait a minute. And he, nobody wants him to do this, but he actually tests the pH level of the vagina kaiju monster and realizes that it's pregnant.
It's pregnant.
Oh, wow. So it's going to birth more statues.
Oh, yeah. It's going to birth more vagina monsters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they know they have to act fast.
Oh, they got to do something.
Yeah. So he goes to the bowling alley, right?
So he goes to the bowling alley.
You gotta go bowling.
Oh, yeah.
At some
And
point.
go see his friends. Yeah.
These monsters are fairly docile until finding the nearest neo-Nazi group to go march the streets and destroy the city with.
They enlist the help of New York's neo-Nazi party to help them.
Because they can't destroy the city on their own.
Well, so I think Nick Totopoulos has to enlist his friend who claims he was in the war, John Goodman.
Yeah,
the big plant war.
Yeah. He claims he's a veteran.
I used to be an apple grower, man, but that was a lifetime ago. I only mess with pears. That's the only thing I know that's safe. But apples, oranges, that shit'll get you killed, man. And that's why they all live in the city, because in this world, plants can be just terrifyingly dangerous.
And I guess that's why we have this paleobotanist who's, trying to maybe perfect
who's unsuccessful.
Plants.
He's kind of living his life, just hanging out because people don't want botanists anymore because it led to that terrible fruit dilemma that happened so many years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of world building going on in this movie.
The fruit famine.
Yeah.
So we've got these neo-Nazis fighting with the plant monsters.
Let's not forget that.
Have they birthed more? Has the vagina monster birthed more vagina monsters?
I think not yet. I think the vagina monster is on the precipice.
Very
he's checking
pregnant.
he's going to these corners and he's checking the leaves and he's like, oh yeah, they're starting to turn an auburn color. She's getting close. He knows. So essentially at the end so what's the climax of of this film. So right now,
I think we know what the climax of this film is.
The neo-Nazi goes up and tickles.
And I guess where it really comes down to is the finale takes place in Madison Square Garden. The military is going to blow up Madison Square Garden. They got like that 10-minute window.
Oh, yeah,
and they
where
got to
it's
like figure it out before they do.
Where
This
Nick
could be
Topp's
the end,
like,
guys.
Just give me 10. Like I
Let
got
me
this.
talk to it. I
Yeah.
can talk to it.
And he's like, just give me a minute. He calls up all of his two friends, and I think what they do is just start rolling up the vagina monster and smoking it.
What?
Yeah.
So they start smoking the vagina
And it
monster?
takes the power away from the vagina monster itself. Yes.
One of the military guys shoots his gun. It kills Steve Buscemi.
And then the writer of this film gets off of his desk and puts the cocaine away and goes like, I gotta figure out my life.
And then, so I guess the ending is the grower and his buddy. They go to the cliff and they're gonna spread
The seeds of the
Donnie's.
plant. Donnie's seeds.
Yeah. They're gonna spread his ashes. Mm-hmm. But there's actually some seeds in there that they didn't
gotta
know
set
about.
up that sequel.
And so they wave it in
Always.
the air.
Gotta build that franchise.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it goes inside the Nick Totopoulos' beard a little bit, and maybe one seed gets in there, and he doesn't know it's there.
He doesn't know.
Oh.
So, what is this movie called?
The big vagina.
The hardest film to describe ever.
Right, yeah.
The longest Wikipedia page you'll ever read.
The Big Zilla.
The Big Zilla?
Yeah.
Big Zilla.
Yeah, probably the
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Zilla.
Yeah.
So I think the promotions for this movie, like the trailer, is mostly just like shots of like, it looks like it's a monster
It
film.
looks like it's a monster film.
Like
right.
kids are
They-
in this
they
theater
don't show
for
you
about
the vagina at all.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of just like, yeah, I'm looking for my fern and it's gone missing. And the kids are like, there's going to be a monster in here at some point. I swear, I know there's going to be a monster.
And like Jaws, they don't show the vagina.
I don't.
Yeah.
Never. That's the number one rule, I think, in monster flicks, right?
Don't show the vagina.
I think Stan Winston coined that.
I think the poster is just a Georgia O'Keeffe painting. With maybe like little arms and little googly eyes on it.
Just
Yeah,
little
the
googly
googly
eyes. I think that's what the monster should be. It should
And it
just
says
be
the
like,
Big Zilla.
all right, guys. Well, that was our smash up. And that'll take us into our game. Marry, fuck,
kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Marry, fuck, kill. Okay, for this rendition of our little game, I wanted to do ensemble dramas, but like
Ooh.
ensemble dramas with like a little hint of like kind of dark comedy in it. So we do 3 movies and we have to choose which one we'd marry, which one we'd fuck, and which one we'd kill. And the trick is to choose 3 great examples so that it's actually pretty
Very
difficult.
difficult to choose.
Okay, so we've got Boogie Nights, the
Ooh.
Paul Thomas Anderson ensemble, amazing ensemble. We've got Pulp Fiction, another incredible ensemble, and actually this episode's Big Lebowski because it's really hard and it is an ensemble.
Go for it.
This one's super easy for me. You probably could predict.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
So what is yours?
I'll start with fuck since we talked about vaginas the whole episode.
Obviously.
I'm gonna go with Pulp Fiction because of the whole foot fetish thing, like Uma Thurman, like.
So in the other ones, Mary and
and
Kill.
if you like
Yeah.
Royales with cheese with your business, I mean, that's the movie for you.
Foot and food fetish.
and the Gimp.
Exactly.
Oh, wow, you're right. There is some
Yeah.
sexual stuff
lots
in there.
Of, lots
Yeah.
of
Lots
sex
of
stuff going on.
to have fun with. And of course, I would marry Boogie Nights because Dirk Diggler.
Oh yeah.
No more necessary.
And Dirk Diggler. He could sing you to sleep at night with that voice.
That's
So.
true.
Feel.
So you're gonna have to kill.
I'm having him sing at my wedding.
Sounds like you have to kill
Yeah,
you gotta kill Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, huh?
because it wrought that whole sequel, the Big Zilla.
The Big Zilla. You're like, I just couldn't stand the Big Zilla of '99. I thought they just couldn't come
Zilla
back after
99.
'98, but they were just brought it back '99.
Yeah, it only
Yeah.
took them a year to turn
Yeah, they turned that around. They're like, okay, we got a lot of money really fast from Godzilla. I'm not looking at any of the critics' ratings. I think they love it. Let's make this next movie. I got a script.
Zilla 99.
All right, Mike.
Yeah.
What is yours?
So I'd have to marry Pulp Fiction.
Oh. Now, why would you marry Pulp Fiction?
I would marry Pulp. It's the most I think it's the most diverse. Like I'm never gonna get bored with Pulp Fiction.
That's true.
You
There's
know?
a lot going on.
There's
Nice.
always someone to have a conversation with
In
you
a
know,
car somewhere,
Yeah.
changing, putting a body somewhere.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
a lot of good conversations.
You
can be
never
had.
get bored in that marriage.
Oh yeah.
You and Ving Rhames would make a great couple.
Yeah,
Wow, I really appreciate that.
I hear in like top people to marry. Ving Rhames, right up there.
Yeah. And then I would fuck the Big Lebowski.
All right.
Good call.
Honestly, just for Julianne Moore.
There you go.
I just have such a crush on Julianne Moore.
Who doesn't?
Even
She's
now.
in Boogie Nights. You
And-
just killed my wife, so.
Wow, dark turn already.
I'm looking at that bridge, but thank God I got Tootsie.
You got Tootsie there with you. So you're gonna have to kill Boogie Nights.
I'm gonna have to kill Boogie Nights. Yeah.
And would you kill it passionately, or would you just put it out of its misery?
It'd be quick.
Oh, that's
Oh.
good. I guess for me, I'd probably also kill Boogie Nights. I'm gonna start with
yeah?
with a
Wow.
murder, and I'm gonna move to the positive.
Start
okay.
with the murder.
Start with murder.
This is
and then
a
we're gonna
mass
move.
murder. This is like Zodiac now.
So I'd Zodiac Boogie Nights. I'd probably Fandango Pulp Fiction. It's just a very sexy movie.
Yeah.
Its conversations are very. There's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. I want to know what's going on in that briefcase. When they open it up, I want to get into that light.
Yeah,
I want to
you
find
wanna-
out what's
you wanna
happening.
stick your dick in there.
I want to stick my dick in that light. I mean, that's mostly what I think about now. What's going on with that light? But I would probably marry Big Lebowski just because it's I don't know, things work out for him.
Sure.
And it's like a movie of like you're floating through life.
Yeah, on a
And
carpet with
on a
Julianne
carpet
Moore.
with Julianne Moore.
Yeah,
and
while,
you've got
while
like
Bob Dylan is playing.
You've got
you know.
good friends. I mean, good enough friends that you're gonna take their ashes and throw it out over the sea.
That's
and
right.
Into your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Right?
all works out. Yeah.
You got some excitement
You're
with
right.
neo-Nazis and a
But fuck
billionaire
it,
that
dude.
shares your name.
Let's go
but-
bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad way to go.
Oh yeah.
Now, Todd, what are your picks?
I'd actually do the same. Just with that, I would marry the Big Lebowski. You know, ups and downs, strikes and gutters. That's like the way of life. It's
I
a
like
very,
that.
even keeled kind of marriage. That's like what you'd have with the Big L. You know, sometimes it would be a little rough, and sometimes it would be a little easy and a little boring. But fuck it, man.
It's there.
Life goes on.
It's
you
there,
know?
man.
Yeah. And
there,
so
dude.
I think I would then fuck Boogie Nights because who wouldn't?
I don't think any of us fucked
Yeah,
Boogie Nights. I
none
think
of
you're
us.
the only one that fucked Boogie
I
Nights.
was.
know.
I married it, and we're having
That's true.
sex every night.
So
of the week.
he's on the right. So your wife is cheating on you with Todd.
In,
That's
Spa-
fucked up.
in Spanish pantalones.
Ooh. A lot of good reasons to fuck Boogie Nights.
Oh, every reason.
Is it because the entire movie's about porn?
Todd fucks like a champ, by the way.
And unfortunately, now that I've married the Big L, fuck Boogie Nights, I'm gonna have to kill
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction.
Fiction. And
Is it because you think you'll be able to bring it back to life with an epinephrine pen?
maybe that's it. It's not out of I don't want to do this, but you gotta make hard decisions and in this game, and that's the one I would choose to snuff.
It'd probably have a pretty good one-liner before it went, though.
Oh, it would probably hit me back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. I hope you learned a lot about sentient statues and botany. As always, we'll be posting a new episode every other week, and if you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com, that's arc with a C. Of course, you can email us any questions at blockbustersmashup@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, all at Partial Arc. If you'd like to hear more from Michael O'Connis, you can follow him on Twitter at Michael O'Connis. You can also check him out as he's a member of the sketch comedy group The Scuba Guys with a Z on Facebook and YouTube. And if you'd like to catch up with Paul Hardister, just send a carrier pigeon to the North Star. He has a P.O. box there. And be sure to follow Todd on Twitter and Instagram at TG11. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Blockbuster Smash Up.
Let's go home.